Welcome to Studio D on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad. And now, here's your host, Madeline Roberts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sooner Sports Pad. Thanks for joining us this evening. I am your host, Madeline Roberts. I'm here with my co-analysts, Lauren Linville and Josh Calloway, and we're joined by a rowdy audience today. Guys, who's joining us?
Yeah, we have members from the National Association of Hispanic Journalists, plus a rowdy group of OU Ultimate Frisbee players.
Yes. And they should be rowdy. They're rowdy for a good reason, because we're joined by OU basketball players Reynolds and Matt Freeman. And later on in the show, we'll see how an Oklahoma women's basketball player is making a huge impact off the court.
And Josh and I will debate who we think Golden State's biggest challenger is this season.
Well, the Sooner football team had their bye week this past week, but they're gearing up to play TCU in Fort Worth this coming Saturday. Now, a little refresher for you. Last year, the Sooners played the Horned Frogs 2 times. First in Norman in November, where the Sooners won 38-20. Then again in the Big 12 championship game in December, where they demolished them a second time, 41-17. In both games, surprise, surprise, QB Baker Mayfield showed out. He had combined 7 touchdowns in both games. Marquise Brown had a combined 5 catches for 143 yards and a TD. On the other side of the ball, the defense had 26 tackles in the first game and 30 in the second, holding a pretty good Horned Frog offense of 15 points on average behind their points per game last year. Now, obviously, the Sooners will look to do it again this coming Saturday. Lauren, what does OU's offense need to focus on to get that dub in Fort Worth?
Yeah, Madeline, as far as the Oklahoma offense, I think in order to beat TCU, they're going to need some help from the Sooners' run game. Obviously, Kyler has a ton of deep weapons, but if they want to beat the Horned Frogs on Saturday, he's going to need some help in the backfield. Trey Sermon, Marcellus Sutton, Kennedy Brooks are some of the best running backs in the country. I mean, listen to these numbers. Sermon has 348 yards so far this season, and I would not be shocked at all if we saw him get at least 100 against TCU on Saturday. Freshman Kennedy Brooks has been a standout. He had 107 yards on 8 carries against Baylor. We've seen what they're capable of, but we need to see more. Kyler is their quarterback, and he's leading the rushing on this team. So TCU is ranked 40 in rushing defense, and I think that Oklahoma has to show him who's boss this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. The offense has been rolling just as well, but the run game hasn't really been established since Rodney Anderson went down. Now, as for the defense, obviously a lot of eyes are going to be on them this weekend under new DC Ruff and McNeil, but I think they're going to play really well against TCU. I really do. And I think the main key is they're going to be forcing some turnovers. I touched on this last week. They've only had 5 turnovers so far this season. I think they're going to play much better on that end this week. They're going to get at least 3, in my opinion, against the Horned Frogs. I think they're ready to go to get some fumbles, get some interceptions, stuff like that. I really think that this could be the defense's best game of the season so far. TCU's offense is really struggling. They played really well against them last year. I think Oklahoma wins this game big, and the defense is a big part of the reason why.
Yeah, I hope we see some turnovers. I feel like it's been a while.
They haven't forced that many, so
exactly.
A guy who could have a turnover is cornerback Trey Norwood. And earlier today, Josh caught up with Norwood to talk about his expectations for the TCU matchup.
I feel like us players, we've been taking it well. I just feel like, we have to control what we can control. So, with the coaching change, it's something that is tough. But I feel like it's going to work out for the better. So I just feel like us players, we're excited to see what the future holds, and we're just ready to get back to work.
What would you say was like the main focus over the bye week, and was it nice to just have a week off to kind of rest and recover?
Just coming off a game like that, the bye week, we didn't take it lightly. We came out, we very competitive practice each and every day last week, just kind of getting your feet back up under you and kind of just shaking that loss off of us. So, and then we had a break this weekend. So I feel like the bye week was great for us to kind of rejuvenate and get back to ourselves. And I just feel like we're all ready to come back and work today.
Looking ahead to TCU, you played well against them twice last season. What went so well last year, and what are you looking for this time around?
I just feel like all 3 units last year played well, from the offense to the defense to special teams, and that's been our main focus this year. Just putting all 3 sides of the ball together, and I feel like that's gonna be very important this week. We're playing in their home place. So I know they're excited and pumped up to play as well, and so we just have to come out prepared and ready.
All right, last question. Last 3 seasons, obviously you weren't here for all 3, but the team has finished really strong in the back half of the season all 3 times. Where do you think that comes from, and do you think you guys are prepared to do that again this year?
I think that just comes from the guys and us players and the coaches' will to, and I feel like we have that, and I feel like that's going to be a main key in this last stretch. You know what I mean? Just kind of buckling down and just just taking it game by game. That's all you can do is take it game by game. So I feel like that's going to be our main focus, and starting with TCU.
Thanks, Trey.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
While the Sooner football team was not in action, some other Sooner sports were. Lauren, what's the women's golf team up to?
Yeah, well, just a few hours ago, they wrapped up round 2 at the Magnolia Invitational in Mississippi. And let me tell you, they are sitting pretty at 3rd place out of 14 teams right now. They are ahead of the host Ole Miss, LSU, and Auburn, and they're just 8 strokes behind the lead. Sophomore Caitlin Milligan is tied for 6th individually, and she recorded 7 birdies between the 2 rounds and sits just 5 strokes behind first place individually. And tomorrow they will wrap up the final round of the Invitational and hopefully, come back from those 8 strokes and be able to take the lead and win it all.
Yeah, for sure. Good stuff from the women's golf team there. Volleyball team, they had a busy week. Started off, they played Texas Tech on Wednesday and got the dub in 4 sets. They beat the Red Raiders. Good Texas Tech team they beat. Alyssa Enneking, unsurprisingly, led the way. She was great. Again, 21 kills, 6 blocks, continuing her monster season and career that she's had here at OU. Then they took on the number 4 team in the country, the Texas Longhorns, on Saturday and almost pulled off the huge upset, but couldn't quite get it done. Back and forth affair. They lost in 5 sets. But Kaiten Kinley was amazing. 29 digs. She earned herself the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. That was announced today. She was great. Really impressive showing against a Texas team that's one of the best in the country. They should feel confident going forward. Got West Virginia this weekend. They should feel good going into that game.
Yeah, you'd like to see a Sooner win, but the Texas volleyball team is a monster team.
To take them to
really
5,
good
So it
performance.
was good to see them almost pull that out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, it is time for a break, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we'll have Face Off. We'll also hear about a Sooner athlete who's making an impact both on and off the court, and we will talk to our guests. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. It is now time for Face Off. The NBA season starts tomorrow, and guys, unsurprisingly, the Golden State Warriors are the favorite to win. So my question for you is, I know, I don't like it either. Which team will be the biggest challenge for the Warriors and maybe take them down?
Okay, well, a couple weeks ago I picked the Red Sox to win the World Series, and tonight I'm going to go ahead and go with another Boston team, the Celtics. I have no problem saying that the Celtics are going to sweep the East with Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford as your starting 5. There is not a lot of complaining to do. Last season, the team was without Hayward due to injury, and then later on in the season, lost Irving for playoffs. And so with those 2 guys back on the team, I think that they will win the East and then go on and beat the Warriors. And last season, not to mention, Boston just barely lost to Golden State. I think this year they're going to beat them.
That's a good answer. It's a quality answer, but it's the wrong answer because the correct answer is the team that is going to beat the Warriors, not challenge, but beat the Warriors. They play their home games about 30 minutes from here. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to beat the Golden State Warriors this season. You know it. They re-signed Paul George. They added Dennis Schroeder and Nerlens Noel. Andre Robertson's going to be healthy. They got the former MVP himself, Mr. Triple-Double, the Brody, Russell Westbrook leading the charge. Oklahoma City Thunder are going to win the NBA Finals of 2018. You heard it right here. Calling it now.
Wow.
Bringing one
I'd
back.
like to be a Thunder fan.
It's pretty cool.
Josh, I hope you're right. Well, guys, I'm here with Lily. She has an audience question for you, but first I have a question for her. She's on the Ultimate Frisbee team. What is the team up to?
So this weekend we actually have our home tournament. It's called Just Plain Nasty. We have over 25 teams coming from all around just to play, and you guys are totally welcome to watch. We happen to play at the IM Fields right off of Simpson.
Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. All right, and now your question for them.
Okay, will men or women's basketball win more games this season?
Ooh, that's a good question.
This is tough.
Okay, well, I think a lot of Sooner fans are a little concerned that Trae Young is gone, but you cannot think like that at all. We've seen how Kyler Murray has taken over this Oklahoma football offense, and so I am going with the men on this one. They have a fairly easy preseason, and with guys like Jamuni McNeese, Christian James, and of course three-point master Brady Manick, they're in a good spot to make it to the tournament. Plus, our guests tonight are used to the college basketball scene by now and are ready to make a run at it this year as leaders. And Lon Kruger, I mean, how can you even doubt the man at all? So I'm going the men. No doubt the men are going to win more games than the women this year.
I'm really optimistic about the men's basketball team this year. I'm really excited to see what they put on the court, but it's so hard to go against the consistency and excellence of Sherry Cole and the women's basketball team. She's got it. They're always so consistent. A little bit of a dip last year. They only won 16 games, but they still made the tournament and had won at least 21 games each of the previous 3 seasons before that. You have a couple sophomores, Shayna Pellington and Anna Yanusa, who I'm looking to have huge years. They had big freshman years. I think they have a chance to be stars for this team this year. We're really excited about the women's basketball team. I think they're going to have a big year. We're looking forward to them hitting the LNC here in a few weeks.
Guess we'll see.
What time is it? What time is it? It's viral video time. Show me your viral videos, guys.
That was a good one. Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Let's go ahead and trade Le'Veon Bell for the Steelers. Steelers running back James Conner showed out yesterday. He had 111 yards and 2 touchdowns, but I think he might have been playing for somebody a little bigger than himself. Check this out. Conner was diagnosed with cancer in 2015, and he took time out of his pregame ritual yesterday to congratulate this fan who had a sign saying, "I just finished chemo." And sorry to pull at your heartstrings this Monday night, but shout out to that little dude. I think all of us here are pretty pumped for you. So I don't know, that was a pretty sweet moment he shared with somebody who also defeated cancer.
James Conner, one of the cool dudes in the NFL. I want to stick kind of somber. It's a happy video, but normally I do something funny, sports related.
What is wrong with us today?
I don't know what's going on, but this video is just too adorable. I could not do it. So everybody sit back, watch this cute dog react to when its owner returns from deployment. It's so excited. Look, it starts doing laps around the room. It just can't contain itself. It's so excited. It has to run around the room doing laps. That's cute. Everybody loves their dog, and it's just a cute video. I could not do it. Look how great that is.
It is sweet. I'll give it
Love
to you.
It's a dog. It's amazing.
Guess we'll just have to see.
So precious.
So precious.
All right, it is now time to vote for the winner of Face Off. Cheer the ladders for who you think won.
Lauren's gonna win this one.
Who thinks the winner is Lauren?
Oh, it might be you, Josh.
No, it's going to be you.
How about Josh?
It seemed about even to me.
Really
It was pretty close, but I think Josh was a little louder. Congrats, Josh. All right, it is time for a break. But when we come back, we'll learn about a Sooner athlete and a cause near and dear to her heart. Stay with us.
Thanks to our cornerstone television partners, OU Medicine, Anheuser-Busch, OU Extended Campus, and our community partners, Landers Auto Group, Devon Energy, Coca-Cola, and OU Medicine.
Welcome back. Last year, Hurricane Maria ravaged Puerto Rico, taking the lives of thousands of people. As Sports Pad's Christian Unley shows us, for OU basketball's Jaleesa Penzo, the devastating disaster took place where she calls home.
Around this time last year, devastation struck women's basketball senior Jaleesa Penzo's hometown of Guaynabo, Puerto Rico. Category 5 Hurricane Maria swept through much of Dominica, Puerto Rico, and other Caribbean islands, leaving catastrophic damage in its wake. The third most costly hurricane ever recorded, Hurricane Maria left Penzo yearning to help out her old elementary school, Casa Montessori del Niño.
I started a GoFundMe account, and I just wanted to get some funds to just help them in any way that I could.
Upon creation of the GoFundMe, Penzo wasn't too optimistic about the returns, but after time, the donations began to pour in.
So I first set a goal of like $2,000, and I was like, let's just start with that, and I just kept getting like more and more donations, and I made almost $5,000.
This helpful persona and willingness to improve both herself and those around her extend to both on the court and in her everyday life.
Her whole deal was trying to make other people better. On the court, you could see that, and then getting to know her, you see that's her deal off the court as well. So you can just tell by how she played and how the enthusiasm with which she played that's what she was all about.
A trait of Penzo's that teammates and coaches constantly point out is her unrelenting positivity.
There's just so much positive energy that she gives back to you.
She stayed positive through the whole thing, even though a lot of energy was given to worrying. But I think she knows her parents, and they're both also very positive people. So she stayed positive throughout the whole thing.
Whether it be on the hardwood with 73 recorded assists this past season or off, funding nearly $5,000 for Puerto Rico relief efforts, Jaleesa Penzo has always offered a helping hand to anyone who needs it. Christian Unley, Sooner Sports Pad.
Now let's hear from our guests, Matt Freeman and Miles Reynolds.
Good answer.
All right, well, your season's coming up quick. How excited are you to get back on the court?
Oh, can't wait, really. Yeah, it feels like it's been really quick, but at the same time, it feels really long, you know what I mean? So just can't wait to get back on. Can't wait to get back out there.
Well, with this being my first year here at OU, I'm excited to go out and, show the fans what my team and I have been working for since I got here at the end of May. So, we're all excited, and we believe it's going to be a great year.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned your first year. The team made 2 big additions the offseason, Aaron Calixte and yourself. How do you feel like you two have fit in, and how do you feel like the two have fit in?
I feel like we fit in, perfectly. The guys have welcomed us in as their brothers, and we're just ready to go out there, work hard, and get some wins.
There you go.
Yeah, both of them have great personalities and just easy to get along with, and they've been around the game for a long time, a lot of experience, so it doesn't take long for them to fit into the system and stuff like that. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Cool. Well, tell us a little bit about what it's like having such a nationally respected head coach like Lon Kruger leading you guys.
Oh, can't get any better, really.
It's your first year with him. How do you feel about it?
Even though it's my first year, he's the reason I came here, to be completely honest. So, I got full trust in him as well as all my teammates. So, he's as good as it gets.
There you go. This season, a lot of people are doubting you guys. You lost Trae Young and stuff like that. Is it kind of nice to be doubted and ready to prove everybody wrong this year?
Oh yeah, we get reminded of what people think of us, and we just use that as fuel every day in practice and push each other beyond the boundaries. And yeah, we're loving how we look right now. We know we've got certain milestones to reach, but we like where we are right now.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's going to be doubters everywhere we go, especially with the loss of some of the guys that we lost. But it's just our job to go out there and play as hard as we can and just listen to coach and do what we know how to do. I think we're going to be in great shape.
There you go. Playing off of that a little bit, how do you feel like the end of this season is going to differ from last season?
Oh, we're going to take it all the way.
There you go. That was great. Okay, so you guys get to go to the Bahamas here in a few weeks. We play some top-tier programs there. Then you go to MSG. After that, play Notre Dame. How cool is it to go to those great places and play, and also get tested so much early in the season like that?
It's great. Having one of the best schedules in the country is always a great test come March when the big dance comes. So, it's going to be some great competition in the Bahamas, and then we go out to MSG, I believe, to play Notre Dame, another, top-rated team this season. So, the coaches have done a great job of scheduling the best, so it's just our job to go out and beat them.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just a great experience to play in these sorts of places, but I grew up at the beach, so I'm looking forward to hitting the beach.
How cool is it to be, to switch over to the Jordan brand gear? I see you're rocking it today. So how fun is that to switch it up?
Took a while to come in, but it's nice. It's nice. We were impatiently waiting for it.
Nice. They hooked it up, so we're grateful.
I think Madeline has an audience question for you.
Yeah, Lily has a question for you guys.
Which team are you looking forward to playing the most?
KU first up.
There you go.
Same for you?
No, I'm from Chicago, so we're actually going to Chicago to play Northwestern, so I'm looking forward to that one.
That's fun.
Thanks, guys.
All right, well, it's time for a break, but don't go anywhere. Dynamic Duos is up next. Dynamic Duos. Before the show, I asked Matt some questions about himself. Now his teammate Miles will attempt to answer them correctly. Miles, are you ready?
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, this first question is what I asked Lauren and Josh earlier in the show. It's which team does Matt think will be the biggest challenger to the Warriors this NBA season? A, the Thunder, B, the Celtics, C, the Lakers, or D, the Rockets?
Rockets, baby.
Rockets? Oh, that's all right. Question number 2. What is Matt's middle name? Is it A, John, B, Kyle, C, David, or D, he doesn't have one?
Well, he's from New Zealand, so I don't know if they do middle names out there. So I'm going to do D.
D? Let's see. I guess they do. All right. Question number 3. What is his favorite place to play in the Big 12 besides here in Norman? A, Fall Gallon Fieldhouse, B, Frank Irwin Center, C, Hilton Coliseum, or D, Gallagher-Iba Arena?
A, Fall Gallon.
He says A. Yeah. There we go. All right, question number 4. How tall is Matt? A, 6'9", B, 6'10", C, 6'11", or D, 7 foot?
6'9".
All right, that was a fast answer. Oh. Sold him short by an inch. That's pretty close, though. All right, question number 5. What is his favorite ice cream flavor? A, cookie dough, B, mint chocolate chip, C, Rocky Road, or D, vanilla?
Matt's kind of fancy, so I'm going to say Rocky Road.
Rocky Road? Let's see. All right, last question. What is his current Netflix favorite? Is it A, Friends, B, New Girl, C, Black Mirror, or D, Criminal Minds? New Girl? Let's see. Oh, hey, you got one right. That's pretty good. Thank you for watching Sooner Sports Pad. Be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and hey, we'll be back here, same time, same place, next Monday. Good night, everyone.